Hello everyone, welcome to another PS Does Book Reviews video series. I'm going to talk about the books that I've been reading through November and a little bit of December. Picking up on the previous book reviews video log that I did. So let's get started. The first book that I've been reading since last time is this one. It's called Deadly Class. It's a graphic novel. Looks pretty good. It's in color, as you can see. It's pretty good stuff. It's the story of this guy that feels a bit out of place. I believe he lost his parents or doesn't have parents, something like that, and he's off into a vendetta, trying to redeem the people who ruined his life, which is pretty much the president of the United States. And he ends up picked up to be a serial killer in training by this class of assassins, which are called the Deadly Class. And the whole story is about that and the different cultures that exist inside this special school for killers or assassins or something like that. It's very interesting, it's very well written. It's by Remender, Craig and Loughridge. It's pretty good. I recommend it. I got the other volumes already. I'm looking forward to reading them. I haven't had time to read them yet. They just arrived yesterday, so this is the first book that I read. I believe I gave it 4 stars or 5 stars on Goodreads. I'm not sure anymore. So yeah, let me know what you think about this one. It's pretty good. I recommend it. Another book that I've been reading, or I finished reading, is Isaac Asimov, Forward the Foundation. It's the last one from the Foundation series, the 6th or 7th. I lost count at some point, but this is the very last one. It's the one, it goes back in time from the series, and it's the sequel to what happens in Trantor after the main guy, Harry Seldon, starts figuring out psychohistory, and he has to deal with the empire that is crumbling. So he has to deal with that, and it encompasses a lot of years of Harry Seldon's life. It's the ending of Harry Seldon's life, and I think it reflects a lot also on Isaac Asimov's life itself, because he was reaching the end of his life by the time he started writing this final chapter to the Foundation series, and it becomes a little bit maybe nostalgic is not the right word, but it becomes very introspective and like really trying to put the final dot on his grand creation and trying to let it carry on, not let it fall apart. And I'm sure he also struggled a lot with that, trying to keep the Foundation series alive through his life, and it's a bit of a parallel with Harry Seldon trying to set up psychohistory. And it's very interesting because it also connects both of the robot worlds that he did and the original Foundation series books. And it led me to pick up another of Isaac Asimov's books, which is called The Caves of Steel. I got this edition with the old cover. There's a new one with a more interesting cover, but I got the old one because it was just cheaper. And I started reading it, and it really flows very well. You get used to it very fast, and it just goes by. And this one is more of a detective story, not really the kind of text that you find on Forward the Foundation. This one is more for detective, but also set in a world where the robots and the humans are fighting or in conflict of what the future will bring, mostly between Earth and the outer colonies that have already been colonized. The outer colonies have apparently evolved a lot and are trying to help Earth catch up technologically, but Earth is a bit reticent to adopt those schemes. They want to to be old school, but they're growing out of capacity to do so. They have created these huge caves of steel, hence the title, which are the cities which are under big domes to protect them. And most of the story is passed in New York City of the future, completely overcrowded and people struggling. And it's a very interesting rivalry between humans and the robots. It's a very interesting detective story. It's very interesting sociologically in terms of discussing sociological aspects. So I really liked it. It was very good. I already ordered the rest of the robot series books, which are called The Naked Sun, and I don't recall the name of the other one. There are at least two more. And it's interesting because there is one character here, which is a robot, which then ends up showing up millions of or millennia of years afterwards on this book, on Forward the Foundations. The same robot, but here he just got created. On this one, he already had a very long lifetime of experience, and it's supposedly the same robot, which is still trying to help out humans, even though humans are not really that much aware. So yeah, these are the two books of Asimov that I've been reading through November. And then I picked up some other random stuff. This one is by Yoshitaka Amano, and it's called Hero. It's actually part one. I realized it has two parts. It had an introduction by Neil Gaiman, and that was pretty much what made me pick it up. Neil Gaiman talks very good about this person, and this person did both the drawings and the story for this book. And it's about, well, it's a bit psychedelic. It's like a rock star on New York, but he has a very bad trip on a special party, and he ends up maybe hallucinating or really transporting himself to another reality, where he starts seeing robotic beings and huge statues and attacking each other and lots of interesting things. It has a lot of drawings, a bit gothic in style somewhat, but they're quite interesting. The storyline is okay. It can be quite interesting if you're into this kind of writing, I guess, but it's a bit hard to describe, at least for me. But it was interesting. I thought it could be better, but it was pretty okay. So it was nice discovery at least. And I think I gave it either 3 or 4 stars at Goodreads. So yeah, Yoshitaka Amano's Hero. Another book that I picked up is this one. Is Mouse by Art Spiegelman, and it's very constituted. I picked it up because a friend had recommended me on well, not me directly, but on Goodreads. He was saying very good things about it, so I decided to pick it up, and I was not disappointed. It is really very good book. It talks about the Holocaust and mostly about the author's father story. And he depicts the story and exactly how his father told the story to him, and he manages to do it in a very honest and interesting way. It can be a bit comical sometimes and a bit introspective to the horrors of the war at other times, and how people live on with it years after, and the difficulty of talking about it and portraying it. But I think he did a really good job, and I can see why he got awards for this, and I highly recommend it. This is the complete Mouse. He has both volumes in it. It's well worth the read. I think I gave it either 4 or 5 on Goodreads, probably 5. So yeah, those were the books that I read during November and a little bit of December. I will also list a few ones that I'm picking up now. I'm starting with Neil Gaiman's American Gods. It's quite thick, as you can see. I had already read Nancy Boys, which is apparently number 2 on this series. I have yet to feel the connection between both, but well, and this version is the author's preferred text, so it's like a when it was originally released, the editor suggested some cuts that Neil Gaiman did, and when they wanted to release a new edition, they were looking for a special version of it, and Neil Gaiman still had the original one, so they did a new revision and included the full original text with some more fixes, but was based on the original full text and not the editor's cuts that was from the first edition. So I'm still in the beginning, very early on, but it's very good so far. It's not a typical Neil Gaiman that you would expect, but it's been really good so far, so I'm really interested in reading the rest. And more stuff that I have to read on December is the remaining Deadly Classes. They arrived 4 more volumes. I'm not sure how many there are in total. I think there are only 4 out right now, but I don't know if I'm mistaken. Someone please correct me. I'll probably order the other ones eventually. I'm really curious to read these and see how they develop. And yeah, that's pretty much what's in my TBR for December. It's just Neil Gaiman and Deadly Class, and maybe pick up a new book if I manage to finish Neil Gaiman before the holidays or something. So yeah, hope you guys liked it. Let me know if you already know these books, what you think about them, if you agree or disagree with my opinions about the ones I already read, what you think about the one that I'm about to read. And yeah, and if you have nothing to comment, at least like the video if it was useful to you, and subscribe and all that jazz. You can also check the other videos that I did relating to book reviews. They will pop up somewhere here on a box, I hope. And yeah, so enjoy, take care, bye bye.